Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's roundtable discussion on skilling courses for job opportunities organized by the IMC in association with Bharatiya Vidyapeeth. In today's session, we have a great program for you as today's youth to talk about opportunities when it comes in progressing with your career and how certain unique skill sets can actually enable you to progress faster and in a more organized manner. To set the tone of today's session, I would like to share some observations which have been brought into light more specifically in the last 2 years, especially in the changing workplace and the workplace requirements. So what we do has changed, where we work has changed, and also how we work has changed. And we expect that it is going to be continually in a process of change as corporates get accustomed to hybrid versions of working with no borders, and working offshore, offline, online, whatever modality suits the entire team. So I'm going to introduce our first speaker today, Mr. Juzar Khorakiwala, who holds a bachelor's degree in pharmacy and an MBA from the Asian Institute of Management, which is AIM in Manila, Philippines. He has also attended several management programs, including at IMT, Wharton, Harvard University as well. Mr. Khorakiwala is the recipient of the AAA Award for Management from AIM Manila and the India Small and Medium Entrepreneur of the Year Award in 2014. He also featured in the Economic Times series of Emerging Small and Medium Enterprises in India. Mr. Khorakiwala established Biostat India Limited in 2002 and is the chairman and managing director. Over the last decade, the company has diversified into 8 operating verticals, and the company employs over 1,000 people in India and outside, with 2 manufacturing facilities across India and R&D facilities as well. Mr. Khorakiwala is also the chairman of a known brand, Akbar Ali's, for anyone who's from Bombay, and was the president of the Indo-Vietnam Chamber of Commerce. He has just been elected as the president of the IMC Chamber of Commerce for 21-22, and I now request him to formally welcome everybody. Mr. Khorakiwala.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for the nice introduction, Shireen. On behalf of the Indian Merchants Chamber of Commerce and Industry, I extend a very warm welcome to today's roundtable discussion on skilling for job opportunities. A big economic opportunity for India lies in creating competent and trained manpower. There is a vision that we all share of transforming India into a robust, development-oriented economy which is capable of achieving, maintaining and sustaining high levels of growth over the next decade. One of the critical factors in achieving this is employability. That is, looking at how we can make our growing young demographic population more employable. Over the past few years, globalization, technology, economic changes, and the COVID pandemic has resulted in frequent organizational restructuring, which has led to a modification of work roles. Therefore, today's youth and early professionals need to have the advantage to stand out and quickly adapt to the fast-changing work landscape. Skilling has become the most essential ingredient to create the workforce for the future. If education teaches us what to do, then skill should teach us how to do it. Today, it is important that learning does not stop with our earning. There is such a demand for skills in the world that smart and skilled manpower will only grow. As our Honorable Prime Minister aptly said on World Skills Day, the youth born in the 20th century will take India's development journey forward till the 100th year of our independence. Which is why skill development of the youth of the new generation is a national need. It is a huge base of self-reliant India. Careers and jobs have become dynamic, fluid, and are rapidly changing. Today's youth and early professionals need to have the skilling advantage to stand out and quickly adapt to the fast changing landscape. Before I conclude, I would like to say that since inception in 1907, IMC has evolved into an institution keeping pace with the time by adapting itself to contemporary needs, while at the same time continuing on the path of its proud legacy of over a century in the service of nation building and simultaneously fulfilling its responsibility toward the welfare and well-being of society. The Chamber is now a cradle for nurturing young talents and promoting emancipation of women through Young Leaders Forum and Ladies Wing, which have become embodiment of youth enterprise, positivism, proactive thought leadership, and movement for women empowerment and entrepreneurship. The Chamber's expansive global network with formal understanding with over 150 chambers and government agencies. The IMC platform offers its members benefits of this network opportunities to explore and expand their operations. The year-round activities of dialogues and discussions with eminent businesses, political, societal, and governmental leaders on a wide range of issues to create environment for sustainable economic and social development is uniquely enriching knowledge sharing and relationship building experience. IMC has partnered with Deakin Co, part of Deakin University, ranked among the world's top 1% universities, to equip students and early and mid professionals with skill development in the areas of data-driven marketing, digital literacy, teamwork, financial literacy, critical thinking, innovation, communication, and customer experience, all very important in today's world. I would like to thank Dr. Anjali Khalsa, Director, Bharatiya Vidyapeeth's Institute of Management Studies and Research, for providing this platform. And before I end, I'm reminded of a timely quote: "The future belongs to those who learn, unlearn, and relearn." I wish you all the best this morning for your deliberations. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Khurakiwala. I think it's been such a pleasure having you do the introduction and also introduce IMC so beautifully, so that today's youth know what their opportunities are in terms of a business community in the future. I would now like to invite a familiar name to most of our audience here, and that is the Director of the Institute of Management at Bharatiya Vidyapeeth, Dr. Anjali Khalsa. Dr. Khalsa herself is a BSc and a PhD from Nagpur University, and at present the Director of the Institute of Management Studies and Research at Bharatiya Vidyapeeth in Navi Mumbai. So we are very great to add that she's also a trainer for soft skills and other management topics with over 21 years of work experience in total. So we've had really good speakers, and I hope the students are, really able to benefit from this. Just talking about some achievements and awards to highlight Dr. Khalsa's experience is she's been awarded the Indian Achievers Award for Educational Excellence by the Indian Economic Development and Research Association, and has been felicitated by the University's Women's Association in Nagpur. She's also conducted training programs for various organizations, to mention a few, like PepsiCo, RBI, Cotton Corporation of India, among many others, as well as for Bharatiya Vidyapeeth itself. So, Dr. Khalsa, I would like to now invite you to the dais.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for a nice introduction. Just I would like to add a little bit. That is, I am a master's in industrial relation and personal management. That is the HR specialization, and that I did it in 1992. So thank you very much for a nice introduction. And here I would like to, first of all, a very good and warm welcome to you all. And it's my pleasure to welcome you all on behalf of Bharatiya Vidyapeeth Institute of Management Studies and Research, to all the distinguished guests who are present over here. Specifically, I would like to mention Mr. Khurakiwala. Hope I have pronounced it well. President, Indian Merchant Chamber, Dr. Ashley Johns, Director and Senior Consultant, Zena Consulting, Mr. Sanjay Mehta, Deputy Director, Indian Merchant Chamber, and Shireen Ardeshir, that is, she is a Senior Manager, Study Networks. And along with these eminent guests, I would like to welcome all my student, esteemed faculty members for this wonderful seminar on skilling for job opportunities. And I think this is a very apt topic and needed topic in this era. Here at this juncture, I would like to, those who are from here, they know about Bharati Vidyapeeth, but those eminent guests who are from abroad, I would just like to mention a little brief about Bharati Vidyapeeth. Bharati Vidyapeeth is a brand name in education, wherein it's a 57-year-old deemed to be university, and it has many campuses, right, all across the India, from New Delhi to the Western Maharashtra. Then we have just the got the deemed to be status, which is granted by UGC recently, and we are 63 ranked among the university, that is NIRF ranking last year. This year also our ranking has improved. We are re-accredited A grade, and we are among the top 10 universities. And we have around 29 constituents spread across the India, 8 campuses, 12 faculties offering 324 programs, and we have around 20,000 plus students and 1,600 plus teachers. And students are from almost all the states and 48 countries. And we are the proudly the constituent of this big trust, Bharati Vidyapeeth. And Bharati Vidyapeeth Institute of Management Studies and Research started in 1984, and with the objective to give industry the corporate leaders. And here I would like to mention that the Bharati Vidyapeeth Institute of Management Studies and Research evolved over these 34 years of time, wherein we have started with our MMS program, which started with 60 students, then it went to 120, then today it is 180 students altogether. And here we have providing industry with corporate ready students, wherein they are for their skilling, we are providing them various certifications, international, nationals, to make them more employable. And that's what I feel that this particular webinar is absolutely essential, wherein maybe some more perspective will get, because we are already started towards this excellent path by doing MOUs with various universities abroad for the skilling up for our students. But maybe the eminent guest can provide us with the more insight, and this platform will be helpful for us to go further. Now we have seen that I have seen this transformation. I've been in this industry for more than 25 years now. So pre-pandemic time and the pandemic time, there is a huge difference. When I look at the skill part, and the adaptability with respect to teachers and students, it is tremendous, because there was a marked difference between pre-pandemic and the pandemic time. This COVID-19 pandemic has taught us many things. And I think if I compare this pre-pandemic and the pandemic time, the earlier students, I think skill-wise were less as compared to the present student, because the total way, it's a new normal. So total way, the way we think, the way we teach, the way we go for everything, it is complete revolution. That is, we never expected that this will happen. And but when it came as a challenge, I think we have taken this challenge, and mostly the education industry has taken this challenge in a very excellent way, I would say, because I think our faculty used to teach in a very traditional way, that is the chalk and board method, and immediately they switch to Teams, Zoom, and that is remarkable. And not only that, the challenge is to make student um, uh, you know awake, and I would say awake, because mostly the most of the forums it is being said that just log. There are many who are logging in, but how far they are responsive, and how they are alert and agile with respect to, so keeping them alert, agile, awake, is was a big challenge. And teaching fraternity has invented many ways to make our student community agile and alert. And I think that is reflected in their marks also, because they have come up with a very good grades, I would say, as compared to last so many years. And even the placement, that is also has gone up as compared to. So if I specifically see this particular thing, it is really beneficial to the our educational institute. But the only thing is that what we feel is that we have lost that personal touch, because we know the students, but that also is one point where we are missing our students. Maybe 2 days back I addressed my student, and I was so happy to see them face to face, because that kind of bonding, sharing, we are missing. But skill wise, yes, it is being upgraded. And more and more. Recently, we did one survey wherein we have come up with the uh, survey. The result is like on the how far these people, all over students and the industry people, they are coming for the certifications, and then how far they are continued it. That is that was the topic. And we find that the most of the industry people, they are not that kind of agile and alert as compared to the students, because in between they left the certifications. But yes, students community, they continued. Maybe that one factor which I feel is like continuously monitoring from the institute, from the faculty side, has motivated. And faculties are quite motivating them for that particular thing. So that might be one of the aspect when we compare with the industry people, wherein there is no monitoring. It is on their will. Those who wanted to have completed the certifications, and those who are not monitored, and maybe on their own will, they are not able to. So I think this particular aspect wherein the faculties are guiding them, motivating them, counseling them, and engaging them is a very important in when we talk about the skill development, and that too online. I'm talking about in a virtual way. So that is they have ensured this. So I think the latest, if we see that the whatever the new surveys are coming, say for example EDX surveys, which is done on the US consumer. So they say that 33% of the respondents, they say that it is responsibility of the organization to upgrade them skill wise. And accordingly the organizations are taking initiative, understanding the situation, understanding. But if this survey is taken now, right now, I think this 33% definitely will go up more than 60-70%. That's what I feel, because everything is changed. The technology has completely revolutionized the entire the way the industry used to operate, the way the education institute used to operate. Everything has changed totally, drastically. So and then this change, I think I am a positive. I have a positive outlook, and I see that this is for good. You know, and near future also we are moving to normal now, normalcy. But I think if we go in a hybrid way, because this is one thing. If I look at the graph of the activities which we have done, so I think the maximum activity where the institute conducted is this particular pandemic time, because I would like to quote that in a year we used to do 4 to 5 webinars and 1 or 2 conferences, but here we are doing 50, 60. The number is, you know, amazing, and the gain also is amazing with respect to faculty members, with respect to students. So I think in future also, if we have to go, definitely this will be permanent thing, if you know, and it will be a hybrid kind of a thing, the mixture of face to face and wherever required. And here I think there are much benefit. Most of the guests, they told that you know, when you are calling us earlier, the commuting was a problem, but we are getting maximum people available on the platter, because they say that it's virtual mode. Yes, we are available, and in that way there is maximum gain of knowledge, upgradation of skill. Absolutely fantastic it is going on. So I think you know, it's really an advantage. So how we can what is your perspective, how you look at it, how you leverage this particular opportunity, you know, wherein this pandemic has given to us, that matters. So the more you use it positively, and the because and this is a new world now. Survival for fittest to learn is a new mantra. So if you want to survive, definitely you have to upgrade your skill. And if you are not upgrading your skill, as in earlier we have introductory speech, we have seen that you have to learn, unlearn, and learn. So yes, that is absolutely important, because consumer is demanding, your market is demanding, there is huge competition, there is huge call of upgradation of skills with respect to service, with respect to product, and everywhere, you know, in all the fields there is huge competition, and the upgradation everywhere. You know, at the end of the day, customer wants more than service, more than, you know, the best. They want everything, you know, superb. And to reach that superb level, yes, we have to upgrade, we have to change our ways, we have to change our attitude looking at it. And you know, that is the way. And I think this particular you know, webinar will definitely throw a light on how you know, we should move towards this hybrid kind of a you know, culture, in wherein it can be used to you know, upgrade the skills of the students. I'm saying skills of the students and faculty also, wherein you know, that can be used in a very positive way. So definitely we'll get some guidance from this particular webinar, wherein the experts will guide us that how we can leverage this opportunity, how we can become more productive in this hybrid situation, in this hybrid way, in this situation. And I think definitely we will move toward excellence. So there will be complete transformation in terms of you know, productivity, in terms of the ways how we are operating. And I think you know, there is I can see a rosy picture, wherein, you know, our students will be very much employable, competitive, and very much learned, knowledgeable, by using this kind of a, you know, virtual and face-to-face mode. And I think there is a we are moving toward excellence. So thank you very much. And at this juncture, I would like to add and put forth over here that as we are doing so, you know, for the upgradation of our students, we are doing so many certification, that is MOUs with many international universities and many other institutes. So here maybe we can see that how this Indian Merchant Chamber and our Australian universities can help us and can have a one module. We can we can start wherein we can have a faculty exchange program, student exchange program virtually, wherein because we have already started with the Ottawa University, US, and the Uzbek State University. We are in the process of Ma University, Malaysia, and maybe that's what there's so many universities, because this virtual mode is really doing very well for us, and we hope and we look for this particular certification program, at least a 1 month module wherein we can learn the culture of both the countries. There is much more learning for the faculty and the students, and definitely finally the upgradation of skills. So I look for this in near future, and hope this particular platform will provide excellent opportunity for the students and the other participants to encourage them to boost their skills, and the ways how they can boost their skills, and eventually definitely they will emerge as a confident managers for the corporate India. So
Thank you so much, Doctor.
To all the best. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to add that I think Dr. Khalsa was able to highlight some key changes both in education and industry, and how the response has been on it. And that actually serves as a great prelude into our next speaker presentation. And I would like to introduce Dr. Ashley Jones, who's the Director and Senior Consultant of Zenta Consulting, but has been involved with Deakin Co programs for a while now. Dr. Jones is a senior leader with significant experience in providing end-to-end solution designed for implementation in the education, technology, and the professional services sector. She has been looking at leadership skills in developing business strategy, organizational change management, and policy development. So without further ado, I am conscious that we are going a bit over time. So I am going to hand over to Dr. Jones to make her presentation and to check whether a screen share is available.
Thanks very much, Shireen. Thank you, everybody, for having me. It's a pleasure to be amongst such illustrious company. And Dr. Anjali, that was a really comprehensive and powerful introduction to what I hope is going to be a really scintillating roundtable for youngsters who want to understand how best to utilize their skill sets and develop them. So as you say, Shireen, let's see if I can share. Are we good?
Yes, we are.
Thank you so very much. So, managing your careers in changing times, as Dr. Anjali has spoken about, we are in a hybrid, unprecedented time. And what we are seeing, and I'm speaking from an Australian perspective, but also as the former Chief Operations Officer of Deakin Co, the commercial arm of Deakin University, as the Head of Education and Accreditation for the Council of Professions Australia, which looks after 1 million professionals in Australia across accounting, engineering and IT, veterinarian, and also other professional associations. What I'm seeing very much is that there is an absolute need for each and every one of you to ensure that you stand out. It's not enough anymore to have your discrete experiences, whether that's as an engineer or as a doctor, lawyer, all of those wondrous professions that everyone works so hard to achieve. You need to be able to stand out in terms of your communication skills, that what we're now calling the employability skills. And this is, as I say, across the whole entire place. So if I just briefly mention Deakin University, as introduced, Deakin University is ranked in the top 1% of universities globally. We've been very privileged to work with India for over 26 years and do consider our Indian alumni as ranking very foremost and highly in the ways in which we operate in India. We have 66,000 enrolled students a year and over 10,000 international students from 120 countries, most of which unfortunately are currently working online rather than at our campuses in Melbourne, Victoria. Yet 27 years of Indian engagement, and that is across academia, industry and government. So Dr. Anjali, very happy to talk to you about ways in which we could cooperate and work together in the future. As I mentioned, Deakin Co is a division of Deakin, and it does form part of the Faculty of Business and Law. But Deakin Co has been set up for a very particular reason, and that is to help individuals and organisations build the emerging and in-demand skills that are required to succeed, both in the workplace today, but just as importantly, in the workplace of tomorrow. And what we're seeing when we look at reports that are coming out, whether it's from the World Economic Forum, whether it's from the OECD, World Health Organization, whether it's from the Big Four Consulting, Deloitte or KPMG, we are very much seeing that you need to be able to stand shoulders above everyone, and you need to be able to use your critical thinking skills, your ability to innovate, and indeed your ways to collaborate. Collaboration is actually the most in-demand skill, irrespective of where you're working. When I look at a couple of banks that I'm working with at the moment who have a very large IT contingent in India, the ways in which they choose their enterprise architects and their agile engineers is through their communication and their collaboration skills. Their discipline skills they take for granted. They know they have those. It's how are they going to be able to work with others? How are they going to be able to communicate? And how are they going to be able to add value? And that's really a very important scheme. As I mentioned, we have a number of partners across India. I'm delighted to have worked with KPMG India, NASCOM on their Educast platform, Infosys, Tata Capital. We just actually finished a program with Tata Capital in Colombia, working with their leadership group. And you know what is really quite stunning from around the globe is whether we are training in Colombia, South America, India, the UK or Australia, it's all the same types of skill sets and the same issues that those that are trying to set out have a problem working across. So why importance of upskilling in a changing world? Look, everybody kind of puts a negative on this and says that we're now in 4.0 industry revolution and that all these jobs are going to disappear. That's absolutely true. But if you look at all of the revolutions that have occurred around the world, each of them have actually produced a requirement for more jobs, not less, and more diversity of careers and jobs than previously. And if we think of AI and VR and the ways in which cybersecurity is fundamental to every job now, and again, the need to be able to collaborate and to innovate and to work within a hybrid world, the number of jobs will increase dramatically. It will just be that an accountant will have a completely different type of job. They'll be using those higher data analytical skills instead of perhaps, they'll be using programs and software to be able to do the basic accounting roles. So we know that things are going to change. And how do we ensure that we make sure we are ready for that change? There's been a lot of research undertaken that shows that 2 in 3 jobs will be soft skills, or as we call them now, employability skills, intensive by 2030. If you want to be relevant in the future, you have to have, beyond your technical skills, the ability to be able to communicate, work with others, have emotional judgment and be able to understand, but also, and most of you have this absolutely more than I, a digital ability, a technology and agility to be able to work both online, offline and in a hybrid way. COVID-19 has actually produced, unsurprisingly, a faster acceleration of digital jobs in the last 18 months than in the last 9 years. We have advanced so dramatically that we have no idea what's going to be around the corner in 3 months, let alone in 3 years. So the skills that will constantly help you are the employability skills and the ways in which to be able to work together and to be able to set yourself above the rest of the pack. So that's really, I can't emphasize that enough in terms of what it is that you need in terms of relevant and contemporary skills. Financial literacy is also becoming incredibly important to be able to take that data and to be able to analyze it and provide distinct ways in which you can influence your job, your boss, your business is incredibly important. Interestingly, customer experience across 16 different industry verticals is becoming the #1 skill required. You have to know how to talk to your clients and customers, how to understand their pain points, how to be able to work through innovative ways to help them. And so your ability to be able to work with others and with customers is incredibly important. Let me just put this in perspective. In terms of salary in Australia, if you can prove these skills, you can put a 10% upload on your salary expectations, and that's starting out. By the time you get to C-suite, it becomes significantly more. So in order to invest in your future, you need to invest in yourselves and make sure that you actually can build the types of skills that are going to make you feel important or show your importance to others. So the Deakin Co courses are 100% online and they're flexible and self-paced. So, you know, if you're a night owl and you want to work at 2 a.m. in the morning, go for it. And if you alternatively, you know, like to work in the afternoon, then you can also do that too. And you can take it in your own time, between 2 to 6 hours, and the time is yours. You can build a compelling portfolio. You know, these bite-sized courses actually allow you to scaffold your skill sets and be able to be recognized with a certificate of completion to show that you have capability in these particular areas. It also is the in-demand skills, and it shows your employers that you really are thirsty and hungry to achieve and that you can actually put some of this into practice. So I can't emphasize enough the importance of relevant and contemporary skills and certifications in them to make you stand above and beyond others. So I just close with the Deakin University saying, which is we're uniquely positioned as a leader in quality, pragmatic digital delivery at a competitive price, and the beauty of the courses are they are backed by a top 1% university, and that's Deakin University. So thank you very much for your time, and I'll pass you back to Shireen. Thanks, Shireen.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jones, and an extra thanks for, you know, just being very timely with the presentation. So that really has been useful, and it gives us enough time to engage effectively in our next round of panel discussions. So Dr. Ashley Jones will be staying on to the panel discussion, and she will be joined by Mr. Sanjay Mehta, who's the Deputy Director General of the IMC, and Dr. Makarand Pole, who is a professor at the Bharatiya Vidyapeeth Institute of Management. A quick introduction for our new speakers here. Mr. Sanjay Mehta, who, as I mentioned, is the Deputy Director General for the IMC, is a Mumbai-based professional with over 23 years of specialization in public diplomacy, public affairs, event management, administration, relationship building and maintenance, and promoting understanding through professional dialogues and exchanges between both Indian and foreign delegates in the areas of arts, culture, health, information technology, politics, economics, business, human rights, as well as being a senior cultural affairs specialist for foreign diplomatic missions. Our other speaker, Professor Dr. Makarand Pole, is an MBA, MCOM with over 32 years of industry and academic experience. The courses that he has been very actively involved in has been both at the postgrad and undergraduate level, and includes management principles, organizational behavior, strategic management, to name a few, as well as being actively involved in certain academic administrative activities, including a lot of work with placements and graduate placement outcomes. He has more than 12 years of experience as the placement head of IMED, SR. So we hope you would be able to, really add value to our panel here today. And I would like to ask each of our panelists, perhaps starting with Dr. Ashley, if there is a continuum that you want to do in terms of introducing what students should look for when they are looking at skilling themselves. I know some of it has already been mentioned, but if there's any additional highlight that you'd like to add here.
Sure, I'll answer very quickly and then I'll pass on to the rest of the panelists. But look, what I would say is that in the same way that if you were undertaking an IT course and you wanted a vendor certificate, you would go to AWS or you would go to Microsoft for that brand to show that you have undertaken some rigorous coursework. In the same way, you would go to a very reputable brand, in my case, Deakin, in order to be able to have those employability skills that are very clearly branded and, endorsed, ratified by a top university, to be able to show that the investment that you're putting in is worthwhile. So, choose wisely your and expenditure, but make sure that you do stand out and that you choose really solid courses. Thanks, Shireen.
Thank you so much. Mr. Sanjay, could I invite you to say a few words as well?
Yeah, thank you, Shireen. And good morning to all. On behalf of IMC, let me once again welcome all the students who are here with us, and also Dr. Anjali Khalsa, Dr. Ashley Jones, Dr. Makarand Pole, and all the other distinguished guests on this program. My previous speakers starting from President Juzar Khorakiwala, as Dr. Ashley Jones, and Dr. Anjali have very succinctly put what is needed today in terms of skill upgradation. But I would say that from industry perspective, since we are industry body here, we constantly getting feedback from different sectors that they are not getting what they are expecting for their recruits. So what they are expecting, I had a detailed discussion with them for this program, and what they are expecting is a very simple thing, is that adaptability, quickly to adapt to changing requirement, and ability to do multi-functional roles. And as Dr. Ashley told correctly, that ability to communicate, ability to collaborate, ability to have innovative ideas of doing work. So these are the things that in conversation with industry for this program, that is the feedback that I have got. So, but as Dr. Ashley once again talked about Industry 4 and all other industry revolution. So these keep learning is not something that one has realized today. It was always there, right? From Industry 1, Industry 2, Industry 3, Industry 4, and then emerging technology trends. During all these phases, learning was a very important thing. So that is not a new realization. It was always there. And one thing I would say that one has to, for the students here, is to not only keep learning, but also keep reading. Also learn about what is happening around in terms of not just opportunity. It's very important opportunities of what is happening in the work in terms of opportunities. I will give you one example. In my family itself, my brother, who is just a graduate, graduated in early 80s, and then he late 80s, I would and he realized that what is coming. He realized that it is Y2K, and in Y2K there are going to be a lot of demand for in IT industry. particularly software writing. So he took a very, I mean, not a IIM or IIT, but EdTech. I mean, at that time, many organizations were giving those courses. So he took that course. He took that certificate, diploma course, and that he got the job in Microsoft and migrated to US. So, and he did not stop there. He's after Y2K in early 2000s, over the turn of the century, he knew that this job will be redundant. So he took some other courses also in software writing, and he is there now earning in more than earning in six figure in dollars. So that is what I wanted to emphasize on, that you just look out what is happening around and take the cue from that. Anticipation is very important thing here. And as far as I am concerned, I am postgraduate in, but I was there in the right time at the right place. But then and I did not do any courses. I just postgraduate in international relations, and I got a job at a diplomatic mission. But there also, I had to keep learning, because communication skills, coming from a Gujarati medium, then of course in college in English medium, but then I needed in that particular diplomatic mission to hone my skill on communication. So at that time in that organization, I was lucky because they were offering trainings like this. And then I went to, they sent me to the New York University for English Literature Program course for 1 year. And that was required. When you want to apply for a higher position in that organization, what was required, as Dr. Ashley Jones said, and Dr. Khalsa also said, either you do on your own, or organization is offering your training, you take opportunity of that. I did that, and then there was a progression in my career. So that is all I would like to tell the students. I mean, communication skill, general knowledge, keep your eyes open on what is happening around. And the courses that Deakin University is offering are absolutely, for the student level, absolutely appropriate, and you must take it, because it is communication skills and all other things, and then gradually progress to the proficient courses. So that is definitely going to help going forward, and that is the investment that you will never regret. So that is what I would like to say in my opening remarks. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sanjay. And I think it was extremely apt for you to personalize the journey, for it to be very relatable to the students here today. So Dr. Makarand, would you like to add a few words here before we move into questions for the panel?
You are muted, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Shirin. And on behalf of Bharati Vidyapeeth, once again, it's my pleasure to welcome all of you. Of course, having put so much, years in this academic field, and been a faculty in HR, and having guided students for placement and for skill development, I can reiterate that it's a challenge for us to bridge the gap. And I think it's absolutely necessary for us to take regular feedbacks from the industry and refine our courses. And I would say with transparent pride that at Bharati Vidyapeeth, being the Dean University, we have got that flexibility and autonomy, to change the courses. And we are always looking out for initiatives for add-on courses where we can, go beyond the confines of the traditional syllabus and do something for the students. And as far as I have seen, that those students who have the passion to excel, they eventually are winners. So environmental analysis, as Mr. Sanjay Mehta has reiterated, that, being aware of what you need to do, having the proper information, accessing that proper information, gathering that proper information, and after that, operationally, operating on that information to do courses which are relevant are very, very important. And at our institute, we guide the students towards that. And of course, our alumni help us a lot in mentoring the students in furthering their careers. So I think, bridging the gap, and then, feedback from the industry, which is very important for us. and the passion from the students are qualities that they will require, to surge ahead in the future. And I think, if we can collaborate with universities in Australia and take this thing forward, because we're very, very eager for this types of collaborations, where we can know, what is a benchmark that the other universities are setting in, so that we can emulate them and we can refine our own offering to the students to add value to it. So that is the opening remark that I would like to make. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I would also like to encourage our audience to post any questions that they have in the chat box here as we are moving on into our panel discussion, so that we can address that in a timely manner before we close the session. So maybe just generally, and maybe this is a question more for students right now, but I'd like to open it to the panel as well, is there's a huge influx of online skill and training courses. How do you advise that students decide on which program they should undertake?
This question is for?
It's for Dr. Ashley, but I think any of the panel could add on if they would like to.
Sure. Look, how do you choose? You ensure the caliber of what is it that you want to learn. To other speakers' points, the fact is that you need to grasp your opportunities, but you also need to decide where your weaknesses are and be really honest about the ways in which you feel. And so therefore, if it's communications, look for a really strong communications that's going to give you some certification, that's going to give you the ability to be able to study in your own time at your own pace. There's no point in taking something that, is going to open you to failure or non-completion. A lot of online stuff doesn't get completed. So, short, sharp pieces of work. And that's something that's really coming across is flow of learning, in time, what you require, but making sure it's the right quality so that when you're investing, you actually get what you want out of it.
Thank you.
Can I add?
Please do.
I think a student should embark on doing SWOT analysis, and he should be emotionally inclined towards that course. There are so many courses and so many, offerings, and he has to judiciously choose among them. So I thought emotional inclination and SWOT analysis and what courses will serve, in furthering his career is absolutely necessary when he makes a choice for those courses.
That's a good tip.
Yeah. May I ask one question to Dr. Ashley? Actually, being an administrator, I feel that we are offering short modules for the skill upgradation. So like normally 1 year, 6 months, 3 months, that was the criteria earlier. But now there are modules which are 15 days, 20 days, 1 month. So I want your perspective on that, the duration matters, or the upgradation, maybe some students can cope up in 8 days, 10 days. So your perspective that what should be the timeline for the same, and what will be the correct timeline, I would say, for this?
It's very interesting because I'm just finishing a piece of research for the Victorian government on this exact thing. How short can something be and still be valuable to the learner? And so what I would say is that it really depends. Again, if we talk about, and I agree totally on, do what it is that you love or that you actually resonates with you. But also, if you're doing something like cybersecurity, if somebody offers you a course for 2 hours, the chances are you're not going to learn very much at all. And it's a taster. And as long as that's what you want, that's fine. But in order to be able to have that's 3 months worth of work, right? To actually be able to have an understanding of the themes and methodology that sits underneath it. However, if you want to upgrade your ability to do a PowerPoint presentation to impress either your university professor or somebody in your business, you could do that in 2 or 3 hours and get some tips and tricks. So it's really about the element that you wish to uplift. Micro learning is becoming absolutely huge. And if we look at theorists like Josh Bersin, who works with IBM, this notion of very short, sharp learning that you can do to uplift a little bit in various different things works for that 2-3 hour session. But, in terms of something of a discipline or, a piece of serious knowledge, then that needs to be, 15 hours to 30 hours of work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And actually, that leads me into a very relevant next question, which has to do with this whole self-learning modules and plans, which allows people to take things at their own pace, but also sometimes provides the challenge of being motivated or managing your time to manage multiple things, including the additional self-learning program that you do take on. I'd like to open this question to Professor Makarand as well as Ashley to see if they would like to, talk to students about what's the most relevant thing to keep in mind while doing a self-learning style program in skilling.
Look, I think Professor Makarand has already touched on this beautifully. Self-motivation comes from two things: a passion with what you're doing, and so therefore a desire to succeed and to win. So, for example, I have to push myself in data analytics. I am a writer. I am happy to do a lot of research, but data, I really have to push myself in order to be able to do it. So passion is one thing, but also it has to be a really pragmatic, that nobody will succeed in this world without being a self-learner, without being motivated to continuously increase their knowledge, because without that, you will be left behind. Even 17, 18-year-olds that are sitting in this audience now, if you do not keep up with the agile, fast pace of life, then you will not do very well in the world. It is just so agile that you have no choice. I hate to break it to you. So if you have time management issues, then break it into little pieces. Do self-paced learning that says, okay, after this 10 minutes, I'll go and have a coffee or a tea, and then I'll come back and do something else. So make it bite-sized chunks that you can succeed at, that then grows the self-esteem and makes you feel good, and then you continue growing. But you have to keep growing. There's no alternative.
Can I
Professor
add?
Makarand? Yes, please.
Yeah, I think for the students, having a role model is also very important, because, they can have role model as their seniors, their faculty members, and they can become members of various chapters. For example, you have NIPM and you have all this Competitive Society of India, where they can interact with managers and find out what is relevant for them. And this will, because they are raw, they are novice. So sometimes, information would be the key. So being a member and interacting with people, with mentors, or having a role model will give them certain kind of information, as to what courses they need to do. It can also motivate them, because a role model's way of learning what degrees he has pursued, what skill he has, how he talks, would throw a lot of light of what the student has to do. A student can emulate to that role model. So I think information is the key. And the other thing I wanted to stress is, my institute engages in profiling of the students, where we tell the students actually what kind of career would be suitable for him, where he lacks in terms of certain soft skills. So I think making the student aware as to his inherited abilities and strengths are also very important. Then the student has a clear direction of what he needs to do, in which domain he needs to pursue his career. So I think we help the student, at our institute. I'm talking through practical experience, through profiling, through mentoring, through, calling, a lot of corporate managers. And eventually the student, sees them as role models. And then, there's a burning desire in him to emulate them and be like them. And that would, give them the push, to to pursue that particular career. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I am conscious that, we are probably going to go over in terms of time. So I'd like to, put one last question onto the panel, and perhaps if Mr. Sanjay could take on this question, is what are the industry expectations from graduates? If you can share some insights onto that, Mr. Sanjay.
You're on mute.
In my opening remarks, I already mentioned that when I talk to the industry people, because we have a lot of industry members here, and their expectation, as I told you, is somebody who can quickly adapt to changing requirement, do multiple roles, and also good communication skills, and as Dr. Ashley mentions, collaborative skills. So these are the things, but I would like to go back on the earlier question, if you don't mind.
Please do.
Yeah, that is on the self-learning. Self-learning is never going to, it's never going to fail anyone. It's going to always help. And why I wanted to talk to you about this is that in any organization except the factory floors, that I don't think anyone has got exactly 8 hours of work. And that is where that is the time management. That is where one has opportunity to learn about things on the internet. You can learn everything on the internet. For example, I tell my colleagues, because we have 26 expert committees which are into different sectors, retail and other sectors, manufacturing and all. And I tell them that whatever expert committees that you are handling, you should know about those sectors. And you can know about that by internet, or we have a very good equipped library, which has good books on every subject, history, politics, and all those things, other things also. They can go there and sit there and read. I mean, this is always going to help. This is the way the self-learn. In addition to that, we also have that during our yearly review, we also have a criteria on the form to be filled by employee, that what training they think they need to progress into the career. So that is what I wanted to mention here.
Yeah. Can I add
Shirin,
something?
may I come in for a minute?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah, Shirin, coming from the industry perspective, over last so many years, I have seen what the industry would look forward as students coming into industry. And we recruit in my own organization, we recruit a lot of people every year. I think some basics are always required, no matter which functional area he or she would like to work, but certain basics are very important at the entry level into the industry or into an organization. Number one is digital literacy. It's very, very important in today's context. They have to know the Excel sheets and spreadsheets and what PowerPoint presentation. As the moment they enter the industry, they should know this, number one. Number two, as people have all said, communication skills, very, very important. Especially in today's context, apart from the regional language, English is a must. If you're going to if you're going to work in an organization, communication skills are very, very important. Number three, relationship building. The skills for relationship building, because at the entry level, you are going to be working with higher levels of hierarchy. Also, so relationship building is very, very important. Fourthly, working in teams.
Absolutely.
And lastly, I would say it is always learning by doing. Yeah. Unless they do things on their own, they will only learn. Nobody comes, with skills, they are not born with it. So only by doing you actually learn. So I think these are the 4, 5, 6 that come to my mind, when the entry level for students who are right now on this program, I think that's what the industry would expect. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And may I add something very interesting? I know we are
please go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah. See, interestingly, we have done one project wherein, on the massive online learning, wherein we found that only 3% could complete the certifications. This is a recent study. So at the end of the day, if you are taking initiative, if you are a self-starter, self-motivator, as all of you have said, nothing is possible. So for my students, I would like to tell them that they should be self-starter. There should be motivation from within to achieve something. Then everything is possible, and there are many ways, avenues are available. Only there are a lot of things on the platter. They need to come and pick it up. So with their own will. So that's what all I think mentioned earlier also. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much to our panelists and all our speakers here today. I am just trying to see if we can just give you a very brief presentation. So I'm just going to ask Ms. Anita, it's just a one slider, so we'll just share that with you. Ms. Anita, are you able to share the presentation?
Yes, a moment, please.
And may I request you to keep it on slide 2 if possible?
Shirin, you can see it?
Yes. Just slide 2 in screen mode, please. Or I can just show you from the side panel if it is clear to everybody. I think we would like to highlight that if students are interested here today to slide 2, please. Yeah. So if students are interested here today, you can register for the program directly. I would encourage you to explore all the courses that are available on offer. There are student level programs and proficient level programs at deakincoindia.com. You can put in the IMC code and we can send you a QR code that will also take you straight away to the page. You can select your course and be ready to receive, once you complete the course successfully, both an international certification of completion from Deakin Co as well as an industry certification, because it's a joint certification program where you can benefit from both education, industry, as well as an international brand. So I think it has all checks all the boxes that you might have as an aspirational upskilling student. So with that, I am now going to invite Ms. Sheetal Kalro from the Indian Merchant Chambers, the Deputy Director General, to come and say a few words concluding today's session.
Thank you so much, Shireen. Good morning, everybody. Actually, good afternoon now. It is my great privilege to propose a vote of thanks at the end of this highly insightful session with such eminent dignitaries around. We wish to express our deep sense of gratitude to all those present here for sharing their valuable insights. I am sure the participants are immensely benefited by such inspiring addresses given today. I take this opportunity to thank Bharati Vidyapith Institute of Management Studies and Research and Deakin Co and Study Networks for their noteworthy support to IMC. With India's socio-economic landscape getting progressively transformed with young India's growing role in every sphere, it is imperative that the voice of youth starts influencing the decision-making progress. As our president today expressed, our chamber is a cradle for nurturing young talent and promoting emancipation of the youth through our Young Leaders Forum, our Ladies Wing, which have become a youth enterprise of proactive thought towards leadership and entrepreneurship. I would like to give you a crisp brief of IMC Chamber of Commerce and Industry. The IMC Chamber of Commerce and Industry has been in existence since over a decade now and offers a voice to over 400,000 businesses today, identifying opportunities, addressing critical issues, and driving Indian businesses with a focus on sustainable growth. We have many initiatives, which Mr. Mehta has already stated, and I'd like to further emphasize a few more. That is the Young Leaders Forum, the Ladies Wing, our Quality Cell, and Arbitration Cell. IMC has also set the IMC Commercial Examination Board, which has been conducting industry-related advanced certificate courses. And now since 2020, we have added the Deakin programs, which continue to provide Indian youth the opportunity to skill, upskill, train, and enhance their career growth. Our aim at IMC is to provide student, youth, and talented workforce with a platform to voice their opinions and to act collectively in addressing critical issues and common concerns. As I believe leadership and learning are linked to each other, therefore currently youth have to skill. They have to skill, they have to reskill and upskill in order to remain relevant to the rapidly changing business environment and market conditions and make themselves skillful. Like, I was actually going to quote a quote that I'm very fond of by John F. Kennedy, which says, learning and leadership are indispensable. But I would like to also reiterate a quote that our president just said, learning by doing. And I think that's very, very important. Relevantly, how Dr. Ashley said, we have to be hybrid in such an unprecedented time. Digital literacy, as Dr. Makran said, flexibility. We welcome all this. And I thank you once again for your participation and look forward to having you on board with IMC and Deakin Go. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. Lovely to be with you all.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.